for the tragedy of Karbala and the martyrdom of Imam Hussein al-Islam and his companions. We have gathered here today to commemorate the tragedy of Karbala. Even though it was a very sad occasion, there are many important lessons from us to learn from this event, and today our youth are going to tell us what they have learned in this blessed month. As always, we will commence our program by remembering Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as chapter 8 verse 24 of the Holy Quran says, "Remember Allah abundantly in order that you become successful." Let us begin with a recitation of the Holy Quran with Surah Bayina by Hussein Jaddi. Salawat.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. سورة البينة مدنية. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. لم يكن الذين كفروا من أهل الكتاب والمشركين منفكين حتى تأتيهم البينة. رسول من الله يتلو صحفا مطهرة فيها كتب قيمة. وما تفرق الذين أوتوا الكتاب إلا من بعد ما جاءتهم البينة. وما أمروا إلا ليعبدوا الله مخلصين له الدين حنفاء ويقيموا الصلاة ويؤتوا الزكاة وذلك دين القيمة. إن الذين كفروا من أهل الكتاب والمشركين في نار جهنم خالدين فيها أولئك هم شر البرية. إن الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات أولئك هم خير البرية. جزاؤهم عند ربهم جنات عدن تجري من تحتها الأنهار خالدين فيها أبدا رضي الله عنهم ورضوا عنه ذلك لمن خشي ربه.
Thank you, Hussein, for that lovely recitation. Next, I would like to welcome Class 3 for their presentation. Salawat.
محمد آل محمد صلوات. बारिदी का सलवात.
إنا أعطيناك الكوثر فصل لربك وانحر إن شانئك هو الأبتر.
A sweet baby in the battlefield, not in a mother's dream, oh my yes Lord. A sweet baby in the battlefield, not in a mother's dream, oh my yes Lord. The call of our men was all too clear, I was terrified, you had no fear. I was terrified, you had no fear. Such a brave heart in someone so small. Where was the courage from? Oh my, yes it was. A sweet baby in the battlefield, not in a mother's dream. Oh my, yes it was. Sweet baby in the battlefield, not in a mother's dream. Oh my, yes it was. Your father came back and made up, walking to and fro, blood in his beard, walking. Walking to and fro, blood in his beard. What did happen there? Can someone tell me? Why didn't you come back? Oh my, yes, a girl, a sweet baby in a battlefield, not in a mother's dream. Oh my, yes, a girl, a sweet baby in a battlefield, not in a mother's dream. Oh my, yes, a girl. Shamagariba, oh so much cruelty, so many enemies, there was no safety. So many enemies, there was no safety. Your tents were ransacked, then set on fire. Your cradle was burnt, oh my, yes, a sweet baby in a battlefield, not in another street. Oh my, yes, a sweet baby in a battlefield, not in another street. Oh my. I was not able to feed you for many days. I had no food or water for many days. I had no food or water for many days. But only after Shaiba did I have milk. Oh my sugar, sweet baby. Shamaghariba, in the dead of night, we got some water to ease the player's plight. We got some water to ease the player's plight. With that water, she went wandering, looking for you. Oh my, yes, a sweet baby in a battlefield, not in a mother's dream. Oh my, yes, sweet baby in a battlefield, not in a mother's dream. Oh my, yes, I had a dream that you would grow up to be truthful and pious, like all around you. Truthful and pious, like all around you. I had pictured you next to your father, just like a copper. Oh my, yes, a sweet baby in a battlefield, not in a mother's dream. Oh my, yes, a sweet baby in a battlefield, not in a mother's dream. Oh my, yes,
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
MashaAllah, can we hear another salawat for that, please? Some of the students at Madressa have been preparing short speeches about Muharram and how it has impacted their everyday lives. With Urbain around the corner, let us reflect on what Muharram means to us and how we can apply it to our lives. I would like to welcome Fatima Ahmadi, please. Salawat.
Assalamu alaikum to my brothers and sisters. Today I'm going to be talking about an important lesson I have learnt from Muharram. As we all know, Muharram is a time where we can learn various and many different lessons, especially from the tragic events that took place in Karbala. From how to keep Allah above all to how important it is to forgive and repent. However, today I'm going to be talking about Salah and how important it is in this Muharram and how I have learnt how highly important Salah is. Salah is one of our 4 deeds and must be practiced 5 times a day. The importance of Salah shines during Karbala, more specifically when Imam Hussein was in the middle of a battle and there were arrows flying around. He stopped in all this to offer the obligatory prayer. It was a time where Imam Hussein's love for prayers was displayed. Despite the atmosphere, he and his associates did not abandon the Salah, as during the course of fighting he requested respite as the noon prayers approached. This helped me to understand better on how offering Salah is imperative and should be considered under any circumstance. Moreover, this act made clear the fact that when it comes to prayer, there is no excuse. If Imam Hussein could stop for his prayers with the threat of him alive on the battleground, then what we do in our everyday lives is not so serious, that we cannot pause and offer our prayers. Therefore, from the act of Imam Hussein in Karbala, this Muharram I have learnt that a Muslim must understand that if the Imam and his followers and companions kept the obligations of Islam by offering their prayers on the battlefield, then he or she must try and do too. Salawat.
Thank you, Fatima, for that insightful summary. Next we have Leon Ismail for a poem, please. Salawat.
Assalamu alaikum, teachers, elders, parents and brothers and sisters. This is a short poem on Karbala. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Blood covering sand, swords blood covering sand, swords clattering all day long, men falling on land. It was all the end, tragedy for the women. This made Islam spread. Hussein's crew were brave. Outnumbered by Yazid's men, they could do no more. Imam's son fell ill. Yazid left him to be sick, but he had stood strong. Imam prayed Salah. They fought right until the end. They shielded Hussein. After the battle, everyone felt quite hurt to know of Hussein's death. Salawat.
For our next recitation, I would like to welcome Fatima Zahra, please, for Surah Asr and its translation. Salawat. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والعصر وليال إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. By time, indeed mankind is in loss, except for those who have believed and done righteous deeds, and advise each other to truth and advise each other to patience. Thank you, Fatima. There is greater sawab for reciting the Holy Quran with its translation, as you understand what it is that you're reciting. Next, we have Anya Iqbal. Can we have a salawat, please? Salawat. Depends. Depends and teacher. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Vanya and I'm going to say a few words on Imam Hussein and his Battle of Karbala. Imam Hussein is our third Imam and the grandson of Holy Prophet Hazrat Muhammad, peace be upon him. Imam Hussein and his companions sacrificed their life from Islam on the day of Ashura. Imam Hussein and his family went to Karbala and set up their tent. They were forced to move their tents from River Furat. From the 7th Muharram, they had no water. On the 10th of Muharram, they fought the battle against Yazid's army and they lost lives. In the next morning, the women and children were taken prisoners, tied in ropes and chained, Kufa and Shah. This journey was very hard. Till today, we Shia Muslims remember Imam Hussein and his family sacrifice. Jazakallah.
That was a very personal and thought-provoking insight. Thank you. Next, we have Ryan Haji. Can we welcome him with the salawat, please?
حسين الغريب الغريب الحسين حسين الشهيد الشهيد الحسين حسين الغريب الغريب الحسين حسين الشهيد شهيد الحسين. All together. حسين الغريب الغريب الحسين. Salams on the head of my Mawla Hussein. Salams on the lips of my blessed Hussein. For days in the desert, your body remained with thousands of arrows. Your shroud they became, and on Arba'in were the will brave the grief and the mourning for you, Ya Hussein. Hussein al-Gharib, al-Gharib, al-Hussein. Hussein al-Shaheed, al-Shaheed, al-Hussein. Hussein al-Gharib, al-Gharib, al-Hussein. Hussein al-Shaheed, al-Shaheed, al-Hussein. दुहाई दुहाई खुदारा दुहाई ये दशत बला में है कैसी तबाही बहाया है किसने ये खून मुहम्मद क़यामत है दाए है किसने इलाही जवानों बुजुर्गों को मारा गया है शहीदों में शामिल है नन्ना सिपाही हुसैन अल-गरीब अल-गरीब अल-हुसैन हुसैन अल-शहीद अल-शहीद अल-हुसैन हुसैन अल-गरीब अल-गरीब अल-हुसैन हुसैन अल-शहीद अल-शहीद अल-हुसैन. The screams of the children thirsty for water. The duty was sent to Abbas, our Savior. The Lion of God could be seen riding faster to reach Al-Furat and to please his Sakina. But how does he fall from the horse with no hands? The flag of Islam laying bare on the sand. Hussein al-Gharib, al-Gharib, al-Hussein. Hussein al-Shaheed, al-Shaheed, al-Hussein. Hussein al-Gharib, al-Gharib, al-Hussein. Hussein al-Shaheed, al-Shaheed, al-Hussein. किया जश्न बरपा यूं अहले हवाज़ ने शहीदों के लाशों पे डंके बजाए जला डाले आले मुहम्मद ख़ैमे सकीना के मुँह पर तमाचे लगाए जो भी मारता उसका बिस्तर न छोड़ा नबी ज़ादियों पर बिदुर्रे चलाए हुसैन अल-गरीब अल-गरीब हुसैन हुसैन अल-शहीद अल-शहीद अल-हुसैन हुसैन अल-गरीब अल-गरीब अल-हुसैन हुसैन अल-शहीद अल-शहीद अल-हुसैन. Sakina would cry every night for her father, and Zainab would cradle Hussein's little daughter. But when they presented his head on a platter, Sakina could not bear to live any longer. No one could comfort or soothe young Sakina. She died Zainab beside her, Hussein al-Gharib al-Gharib al-Hussein, Hussein al-Shaheed al-Shaheed al-Hussein, Hussein al-Gharib al-Gharib al-Hussein, Hussein al-Shaheed al-Shaheed al-Hussein.
محمد وعلى محمد صلوات.
Can we hear another salawat? Next we have Iman Iqbal with another short speech though. Another salawat please. Dear teachers, parents and students, Assalamu alaikum. My today's topic is about the role of Bibi Zainab Salamu Alaiha in Karbala. Bibi Zainab Salamu Alaiha was born on the 5th of Jamad al-Awwal. She was the daughter of Imam Ali and her mother was Bibi Fatima alayhi salam. He had 3 brothers and 1 sister. Her brothers' names were Imam Hussain, Imam Hassan and Mawla Abbas alayhi salam. Her sisters' names were Kulthum. Bibi Zainab was a very brave lady. She was an exemplary woman of great ability, intelligence, knowledge, insight, courage and perseverance. She performed her divine duties to the best of her ability. She was called Lady of Intelligence and Virtue. Bibi Zainab at the time of the Battle of Karbala. When the companions of Imam Hussain were fighting bravely in the battlefield, it was Bibi Zainab who was taking care of all the children and the other women in the camp. Despite hunger, thirst, and many hardships, she took charge of the camps, looked after the children, and gave them love and assurance when they were asking for water. However, the water access had been forbidden. She consoled the adults and was a source of assurance to Imam Hussain alayhi salam. She helped Imam Hussain alayhi salam to mount on Zuldana to go for the battle after every male member was martyred. Bibi Zainab after the Battle of Karbala. After the martyrdom of Imam Hussain, when the enemy set the tents on fire, it was Bibi Zainab Salamu Alaiha's organized effort and calmness that saved the lives of children. She also protected Imam Zainal Abidin alayhi salam, who was the Imam of the time. When the family of Imam Hussain alayhi salam were taken as prisoners on the way to Kufa and then to Damascus, she did her level best to protect the ladies and the children during the journey. This journey was very difficult for everyone. Everyone had been heavily chained. In Kufa, the people gathered in the streets to see the prisoners. Over there, Bibi Zainab courageously gave a speech about all the hardships they had to face. The people started to feel sorry for them, but Umar Ubaidullah bin Ziyad didn't accept that. Shimmer, the killer of Imam Hussain, took Imam Hussein's family as captives with armed soldiers to Yazid's court in Damascus. Bibi Zainab's servant in Yazid's court. Yazid placed the head of Imam Hussain on a golden tray. Yazid was making fun of the Imam's head by constantly putting a stick on the Imam's face. And he said to Bibi Zainab, "See, the God has given me success and brought shame to you." That is when Bibi Zainab gave a speech. This is some parts of it. "O Yazid, do you believe that you have succeeded in closing the sky and earth for us, and that we have become your captives just because we have been brought before you in a row, and that you have secured control over us? Do you believe that we have been afflicted with insult and dishonor by Allah, and that you have been given honor and respect by Him? You have become boastful of this apparent victory that you have secured, and you have started jubilant and proud over this prestige and honor. You think that you have achieved worldly good, that your affairs have become stabilized, and our rule has fallen into your hands. Wait for a while. Do not be so joyful. Have you forgotten Allah saying, 'The unbelievers should not carry the impression that the time allowed to them by us is good for them. Surely we will give the time so that they may increase their evil deeds, and eventually they will be given insulting chastening.' We should all be like Bibi Zainab, strong, brave and persistent. We can use Bibi Zainab as a good model to show us how we should be like in the future. Thank you.
Thank you. Bibi Zainab was indeed a shining example to us all because she taught us that even when you're oppressed, you should always stand for what you believe in. Next, can we have Hasib Ramuzi and Muhammad Ahmadi, please? Salawat.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. 72 men fought not for money, not for land, for the future of Muslims walk hand in hand. No water for 3 long days, such vital need taken away. The baby cries as it lays, they can only hope and pray. Blood spreads here and there, tears and sadness everywhere. Yet the enemies no longer care. Is this just? Is this fair? Soldiers' tongues aching dry as everyone sits and cries. The enemies can never deny what they did and what they went by. 72 men fought not for money, not for land, but for the future of Muslims to walk hand in hand. Salawat.
MashaAllah, thank you very much. Okay, so next we have Saha Haji with her poem. So salawat, everyone.
Brave saviours, Prince of Hashemites, look-alike of the Prophet, called his last adhan. Commander-in-chief, commissioned to bring water, ambushed from all sides. 6-month-old baby, and on his precious body a blanket of blood. Apple of my eye, when the ears hear her name, my heart bleeds in pain. Leader of Islam, for him and his family mourns around the world. Brave saviours, so.
Someone else who's written a poem is Malika Zamani and Oleen Ali. So salawat, everyone.
Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. We are going to read a poem about the night before Ashura. If I was in Karbala on this night, I would witness hell and heaven spread out before me, heaven prostrating to God, hell surrounding for it and forgetting their God.
I would witness in the tents of Hussein alayhi salam, oil lamps illuminating, faces weeping in prayer. I would witness the last Isha Salat of him who rode on the shoulders of the Prophet. I would witness the love in the faces of the companions as they prayed their last behind him. Thank you.
That was excellent, thank you. Next we have Rida Jafri with her short speech about Muharram. Salawat.
Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. I would like to talk about the one who was a model of defiance against oppression and injustice. A woman of patience and endurance. There was no act of worship greater than continuing the rising of her brother, delivering sermons in the path of Kufa and Syria, and awakening ignorant people who were deceived by poisonous propaganda of Yazid. Her sermons created a movement in Kufa and Damascus, which shook the basis of Yazid's kingdom, that even Yazid's son refused to replace his father as the king. Bibi Zainab's role was exemplary. It showed how bold Muslim women were and how they played a key role in consolidating Islamic values. Today, despite the spread of education, many Muslim women are suppressed. In some Muslim societies, a woman's voice is banned from even being heard in public. And there was Bibi Zainab, from the Prophet's family, who became a public speaker to save Islamic teachings. The leadership of the family fell on Bibi Zainab after Karbala, and she proved to be more than what was expected of her. Today, women have to learn much more from her example of leadership qualities. Her public role in the Battle of Karbala has much to teach us both Muslim men and women. Zainab bint Ali, the role model for the righteous, will forever teach us all that when we face countless trials in our lives, we should see nothing but beauty in them.
We now have another opportunity to remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Please can I welcome Shalisa Fatima. Salawat.
Assalamu alaikum to my brothers and sisters. I'm here to talk about the 89th surah in the Quran, Surah Fajr, and I'll also be reading the translation of the surah. So why should you recite the surah? A tradition from Rasulullah, peace be upon him, says Allah forgives the mistakes of whoever recites Surah Fajr on the first 10 nights of Dhul Hajj. Also, Imam Sadiq alayhi salam says, recite Surah Fajr, which is Hussein ibn Ali's surah, in your prayers, whether they be obligatory or optional. Surah Fajr is known as Imam Hussein alayhi salam's surah due to line 27. Imam Hussein alayhi salam is the righteous soul, who is well pleased and who has well pleased Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now I will recite Surah Fajr's translation. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, I swear by the daybreak, and the 10 nights, and the even and the odd, and the night when it departs. Truly in that there is an oath for those who possess understanding. Have you not considered how your Lord dealt with Ad? The people of Aram, possessors of lofty buildings, the like of which were not created in the other cities, and with Thamud who hewed out the rocks in the valley, and with Fir'aun the Lord of hosts, who committed inordinacy in the cities, so they made great mischief therein. Therefore your Lord let down upon them a portion of the chastisement. Most surely your Lord is watching. And as for man, when his Lord tries him, then treats him with honor and makes him lead an easy life, he says, my Lord has honored me. But when he tries him differently, then straightens to him his means of subsistence, he says, my Lord has disgraced me. Nay, but he does not honor the orphan, nor do he urge one another to feed the poor. Instead, you eat away the heritage, devouring everything indiscriminately. And you love wealth with exceeding love. Nay, when the earth is made to crumble to pieces, and your Lord comes, and also the angels in ranks, and hell is made to appear on that day shall man be mindful, and what shall be mindful then avail him? He shall say, oh, would that I had sent before my life. But on that day shall no one chastise with anything like his chastisement, and no one shall bind with anything like his binding. O soul that art at rest, return to your Lord, well pleased with him, well pleasing him. So enter among my servants and enter into my garden. Salawat.
Another student who would like to share their views on Muharram and the tragedy of Karbala is Hani. Salawat.
Surah Fatiha. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على خاتم النبيين سيدنا ومولانا أبي القاسم محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين ولعنة الله على قوم الظالمين صلوات. My dear uncles, aunties, brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. For the past month, we have been commemorating the events of Karbala and the following days. We have been hearing about what great personalities they were and what we can achieve by following in their footsteps. We have heard and we have learnt from some great scholars. Brothers and sisters, this ritual of a majlis has been going on for centuries. At the beginning of the new lunar year, our first month is Muharram. We all gather and mourn Imam Hussain alayhi salam. Why have we been doing it for such a long time? Karbala happened 1,378 lunar years or 1,337 solar years ago. To get an answer, we have to remember what Imam Hussain alayhi salam himself has said. Salawat. When Imam alayhi salam was about to leave Medina, his half-brother, Muhammad ibn Hanafiya, asked, "Why are you leaving Medina with all your family and loved ones?" Imam replied, "I am only leaving so that I can reform or rectify my grandfather, Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, followers. I want to do Amr bil Ma'ruf and Nahi anil Munkar." Salawat. That means in order to fulfill his task, we must remind ourselves what is good and what we should refrain from. This is why we need to gather every year and keep reminding ourselves about right and wrong, and then apply the knowledge of Majlis speeches in our lives. If we're hearing how good and great Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam were, then what should we do to follow them? This Majlis speech is not just for one group, not only for men, but also for women, not only for the older people, but also for the younger people. And as young people of the community, we must find out what we can learn and apply in our lives. Can we leave the Majlis lesson only to older people? Brothers and sisters, we claim that Imam Hussain alayhi salam's small army of martyrs and then captives were role models for everyone. He had young men and boys like Orn, Muhammad, Qasim, and even Ali Asghar as martyrs. Captives with Bibi Zainab included young women and girls like Bibi Fatima Kubra and Sakina. By taking them with him, who was Imam Hussain alayhi salam trying to send the message to? It was young people like us. We have a duty to learn and follow them as well. Salawat. Today, I'm going to address a type of Muslim we should all be. When we say azan, we often hear the words, Ashhadu anna amirul mu'minina wa imam al-muttaqina aliyun waliyullah. I bear witness that the commander of the faithfuls and the leader of the pious people, Ali, is beloved of Allah. So if we claim that he is our Imam, it is a simple message for all uncles and aunties, as well as all young boys and girls here. We have to be faithful, and we have to try to be muttaqi, the pious or God-fearing people. Otherwise, how can we say he's our Imam? Salawat. So we have to ask this question. We know that mu'min or faithful is the one who believes and has iman. How do we know what a muttaqi is, or what a pious person is like? To answer this question, I will quote a story of one of Imam Ali's companions. His name was Haman. He was a follower of our Imam Ali alayhi salam. We do not have many stories about him, but this story is very important. As we all know, Imam Ali alayhi salam had many lectures, speeches, letters, and sayings are in a famous book called the Nahj al-Balagha. According to that book, one day he went to Imam Ali alayhi salam and asked him, "Oh Imam, what are the qualities of the pious people? I ask this so that I can become even better." Imam Ali initially did not want to reply, but Hammam really wanted to know. So in the end, Imam agreed. He gave his reply, and it is being written in Nahj al-Balagha. In the next few minutes, I'll read some of these messages and share what I understand, what we as young boys and girls should do to follow what Imam Ali alayhi salam says what muttaqi should do. Salawat. Imam told Hammam, "Oh Hammam, their speech is to the point, their dress is moderate, and their walking is humble." Salawat. Lessons we can get from this. The message is not only for older people. As young boys and girls, we must learn from this saying. What Imam is saying is that we must be humble and respectful. When he's asking us to keep our speech to the point, that means we must not say things which are not needed. We can clearly practice that by not saying hurtful things in our talks. We must not get involved in any bullying or being disrespectful to our elders. We must not be demanding in our behaviour. When Imam is asking us to have moderate dress and humble walking, we must not be demanding branded clothes or shoes. We must be humble and respectful to other people. This is a simple thing we all can do in our day-to-day lives. Imam also told Hammam, "Pious people keep their eyes closed to what Allah has made unlawful for them, and they put their ears to that knowledge which is beneficial for them. They remain in time of difficulty as they had remained in the times of comfort." Salawat. What lesson can we get from this saying? Well, to start with, do we not learn important stuff and do we follow it? If it is knowledge gained, what use of it if we do not apply it? That applies to all uncles, aunties, and us young boys and girls as well. We say that we have knowledge that Allah is one. He has rewarded us with lots of comforts in our lives, and that doing namaz is a way of thanking Allah and is also beneficial for us. Then how come we miss our daily prayers? We all know that telling lies or saying hurtful things to others is bad for us as well as wrong. Then how come so many of us may still say things that we should not? The other lesson in this message for us is about being the same in difficulty that we had in comfort. When our parents don't buy us the newest gadgets, take us to places we want to go, or get us things that we so much wanted, that's not even difficulty. Then how can we go into such a foul mood and do things that can even be considered as rude? May Allah not give us any difficulty. If we really have difficulty, such as someone gets ill in the family, how will we as young boys and girls cope at that time? How can we call Imam Ali our Imam and be demanding when we know all he ate was basic food, which was hard bread and water only? He could have had any nice food in the world if he wanted. He was at that time the ruler of the large Muslim empire, which in today's map was all of Saudi Arabia, Yemen, Dubai, Abu Dhabi, Oman, Iraq, Iran, Egypt, and many other countries. And yet, he lived such a basic life. Whereas we, even as young boys and girls, are so demanding. Salawat. Imam told Hammam, "Oh Hammam, these people would also have a rock-solid connection to Allah and will be doing prayers through the night along with the Quran recitation. They seek cure for themselves in the Quran and influences their hearts, changing the person for the better." Brothers and sisters, this means that we must continue to recite the Quran, better with the translation. We should memorize some short surahs and should know the meaning of at least short surahs like Surah Al-Hamd. Whenever we offer prayers, come to Majlis or Thursday program, we recite Surah Al-Hamd, but it is not necessary that we will remember the meaning of this surah. I request that we all should memorize the surah and also learn the translation of it. When Imam is talking about a connection with Allah through the Quran, this is only possible if we know what the Quran means. So brothers and sisters, let us try to read translations of at least short surahs. Salawat. When Imam is talking about rock-solid connection with Allah, this is what the people of Karbala had. Not only the elders, but also the children. Qasim had a rock-solid connection. Orn and Muhammad had a rock-solid connection. And brothers and sisters, this is what even little Sakina had. She suffered so badly, but she still had a rock-solid connection with Allah, that she never asked her brother, Imam Sajjad, to bow down to Yazid so that she could go home. Early in the week, we all commemorated Bibi Sakina, a 4 or 5-year-old little daughter of Imam Hussein, who went through the hardships of Karbala. She went through Karbala. She saw her father's head being cut and put on a spear. She saw the headless body of her father on the ground. She suffered so many slaps that her cheeks went red to blue, and then from blue to black. She was tied to the back of a camel with no saddle all the way to Kufa, then all the way to Damascus in Sham. There, all the family of Imam Hussein were put into a dungeon with no roofing, where it was always hot in the morning, always cold at night. One day, Bibi Sakina cried so much that no one could get her to be quiet. Even Yazid in his palace heard her, and to quieten little Sakina, he sent the head of Imam Hussein to her. She took the head in her lap and lay down on the hearth floor and fell asleep. They all tried to wake her up. She lay dormant and not moving. Imam Sajjad saw to see if she was breathing. They then realized the grim truth. They were then charged with burying the body in the cell. They wanted to bury her with a clean white shroud as custom, but it was impossible to do as the clothes she was wearing were clinging to her injured body. She had undergone so many attacks by the tyrants that her clothing had gone inside of her wounds and was stuck there. During her burial, while the grave was being filled, Bibi Rabab screamed. She went and put her cheek to the grave and cried, "Speak to me, Sakina. Only a word, my child. Speak to me. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un."
Salawat. Next we have Zayn Muhammad with the recitation of the Holy Quran. Salawat.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Surah Dahr is Surah 76 of the Holy Quran. It is also known as Surah Insan. Ayahs 6 to 9 specifically refer to the another fasting of Imam Ali, Lady Fatima Zahra, Imam Hassan and Imam Hussein alayhi salam. The ayahs refer to them giving up their iftar on 3 consecutive days to feed a poor homeless person, an orphan and a captive, for no reward or thanks, but only for the sake of Allah. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم هل أتى على الإنسان حين من الدهر لم يكن شيئا مذكورا إنا خلقنا الإنسان من نطفة أمشاج نبتليه فجعلناه سميعا بصيرا إنا هديناه السبيل إما شاكرا وإما كفورا إنا أعتدنا للكافرين سلاسل وأغلالا وسعيرا إن الأبرار يشربون من كأس كان مزاجها كافورا عينا يشرب بها عباد الله
يفجرونها تفجيرا يوفون بالنذر ويخافون يوما كان شره مستطيرا ويطعمون الطعام على حبه مسكينا ويتيما وأسيرا إنما نطعمكم لوجه الله لا نريد منكم جزاء ولا شكورا إنا نخاف من ربنا يوما عبوسا قمطريرا صدق الله العلي العظيم.
Thank you to all the students who have come up and participated in the Majlis so far. They have worked very hard on their recitations and speeches, so can we hear another salawat for them, please? We have all just heard how much the event of Karbala has benefited the souls and spirits of our younger generation. I would like to quote Imam Khomeini, who said, Muharram and Safar are the months that keep the religion of Islam alive, as it truly refreshes the teaching of Islam. Salawat. I will now hand over to Sheikh Ehsan, but before that, can I request everyone to recite a Surah Fatiha for all our marhumeen. Salawat.
الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين حبيب قلوبنا وشفيع ذنوبنا وطبيب نفوسنا أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد وعلى أهل بيت الطيبين الطاهرين لا سيما بقية الله في الأرضين وحجته على الخلائق أجمعين مهدي هذه الأمة وطاووس أهل الجنة الحجة ابن الحسن الأسكري روحي وأرواح العالمين لتراب مقدم الفداء. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. It's an honor once again to be amongst this blessed community and blessed individuals, and it is more so an honor for me to be amongst my younger brothers and sisters on this day. These gatherings, these majalis, as the sister before said, that great quote from that great man, it is Muharram and Safar which has kept Islam alive. One of the dimensions of that, one of the reasons of that is because of these very majalis that you're holding. And it is an encouragement to see how the youngsters from this age, they are carrying this flag of Sayyid al-Shuhada. One of the dimensions of that saying is when Muharram comes, when Safar comes, you find people from all different ages, from all different backgrounds, coming together in such majalises, in such beautiful gatherings, to remember Sayyid al-Shuhada and his companions. There is one tradition which you have all probably heard from the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, in which he said, إن الحسين مصباح الهدى وسفينة النجاة. Surely Sayyid al-Shuhada is the lantern of path and the ark of salvation. Okay. Now I want to just spend a few minutes talking about this hadith. When we say that Imam Hussein alayhi salam is the ark of salvation, is the ship that whoever wants to save himself from drowning in the ocean, he needs to embark on this ship. Now, if you and I just keep reiterating and we say, yes, there is, imagine that you're in an ocean, in a sea, okay, and there is a ship going by, there is an ark passing and sailing in the sea. And I keep saying, yes, you know that sea, it's so good, it's so great. Whoever goes and embarks on it, he'll be saved. You just keep talking about it. But you just talk about it. Is that going to save you? No. Or another tradition that we have, ولاية أمير المؤمنين حسني أو ولاية علي بن أبي طالب حسني ومن دخل حسني أمن من عذابي, that the walaya of Amir al-Mu'mineen is a fortress. A fortress does what? It's like a castle. It protects you from the enemy. You keep saying that. You keep reiterating it. Is that going to help? No. So what do we need to do for this fortress, for this castle, for this ship to actually act as a salvation, act as a protection? What do we need to do? We need to move. We need to get up from wherever we are and embark on that ship. If we are somewhere and there's enemies coming, we want to be protected, we need to move towards this castle and fortress to be protected. Otherwise, we just see it from far and we say, yeah, it's so good, it's so safe, but we don't move towards it, it's not going to save us. The same way, when we talk about the walaya, when we talk about Sayyid al-Shuhada and how it is an ark of salvation, until and unless we don't make a journey, we don't make a step, we don't make a movement to embark on that ship is not going to have any benefit for us. These majalis, what it does, it reminds us, it reconnects us, it signifies and emphasizes the importance and the characteristics of this ship. And it tells us how to embark this ship. What do we need to do? But if we don't act upon it, if we don't make that move, then we're not going to be amongst those who are going to be saved. Because only the ones who embark this ship are the ones who save. And another tradition we have that, and whoever does not embark the ship, they will drown. They will drown. Whoever does not go and seek protection in this walaya, in this fortress of Amir al-Mu'mineen, he's not going to have any protection. Now this protection is about against any evil thoughts, about a deviant path, about wrongdoings. Now, what are some of the examples in the next couple of minutes? Some practical examples that we speak about embarking on this ark of salvation. One of them is to set these majalis. is to attend the majalis of Sayyid al-Shuhada. That's one. Another is in the same setting that you have the madrasa, for example. Seeking knowledge. It's so important. It's so important because the same way that we say, and al-Husayn misbah al-huda, he is the lantern, he is the light of guidance. We have traditions that when you have knowledge, that is light as well. If I just say Hussein is the light of guidance, if I just keep saying it, nothing's going to happen. But once I learn the teachings of Sayyid al-Shuhada, when I understand the principles of Abu Abdullah, that is when I will have that light in front of me. That is, and what does this light do? The light, it shows you the way. If you know there's a wall here, the light says there's a wall, there's dead end, don't go here. The light also shows you where the way is, if there are any ditches, so you don't go down. The knowledge that you gain through these madrasa sessions, it acts the same way. It's all good to have pure intentions, be sincere, cry for Imam Hussein, but until we have gained that knowledge, it's not going to truly help us. So first, having these majalises. Do not let go of them. Do not let go of them. Number two, madrasa. Very important to seek that knowledge. And I mentioned in my Muharram series as well, when you seek knowledge and you're young, is like what? It's like when you write, engrave on a stone. When you engrave something on a stone, it doesn't easily go. But Amir al-Mu'mineen Ali ibn Abi Talib salawatullah wa salamu alayhi says, but when you learn and when you're old, when you become old, it's like what? It's like writing on water. You know, you write a few moments after it goes. It doesn't have that impact as when you learn something in your childhood. So madrasa and seeking knowledge. Number two. Number three. Now after Arba'een, the majalis are going to be over. What do we do? At home. And these points I'm saying, they are the points that what we can do practically to embark on this ark of salvation and ark of Sayyid al-Shuhada. At home, the way I treat my parents, the way I treat my mother, the way I treat my father. You know, this mother is the manifestation of Allah's mercy. May Allah protect and keep all of your mothers alive for you. But the time that you lose your mother, that is the time you know that is as though a mercy of Allah has been removed from you. It's a ni'mah of Allah that has been removed from you. Until they exist, until they are alive, until you see them, make sure you're at their service. Make sure you do everything that they say. And it is so important that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Quran, when He's talking about respecting parents, what does He say? He says, do not associate partners to Allah, number one, and وَبِالْوَالِدَيْنِ إِحْسَانًا. And لَا تُشْرِكْ بِهِ شَيْئًا وَبِالْوَالِدَيْنِ إِحْسَانًا. So first it says, worship only God. But straight after, He says, be good to your parents. It's so important that Allah places it right after Tawheed and the belief in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So that's point number three. Majalis. Madrasa, home with parents. And the fourth point is these actions of good that you're doing. I know as a school you have come together, you have participated in the toy campaigns for the orphans, for example, or you are making a donation towards a charity to look after the orphans again. So trying to, wherever you are, whatever age you are, to however much you can, to help others in different ways. Sometimes it's saying good words, sometimes it's smiling. We have a tradition that says smiling. Sometimes I don't have any money. I'm not working, I don't have any money. But does that mean I can't give charity? Yes, you can. What is the charity? Smiling, the hadith says, is one of the greatest forms of charity. Or a beggar comes to you, you don't have any money to give them. You can't support them financially. You don't have the knowledge to support them with your knowledge, to give them good advice. You know what the hadith says? With nice akhlaq, at least treat them. So the fourth point is try in whatever capacity, however way you can, to be of service to those around you, in the community, in the society, and to whomever you can. Because Sayyid al-Shuhada, he was a service to mankind. And what he gave, everything he had to serve humanity. Then we can only offer some of our time, some of our wealth, some of our knowledge to continue this path of Sayyid al-Shuhada. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us all the tawfiq to be amongst the true followers of Sayyid al-Shuhada and his companions. Wa sallallahu ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa alihi at-tayyibin at-tahirin. Allahumma salli ala
Now he sees his younger sister holding the head of their father so tightly. "Oh father, did you see what they did to my brother Zain al-Abidin? Did you see how they put him in chains? Did you see how they made him march from city to city? Did you see how they put him in? Did you see how they pelted us with stones? Did you see how they set fire to our clothes? Did you see how they tried to throw boiling water upon us?" Sakina's cries now begin to become softer and quieter. Eventually her cries stop altogether. Zain al-Abidin comes over to his sister. Sakina does not answer. This is the moment where Zain al-Abidin's heart completely shatters. He takes the hand of Sakina, but the hand of Sakina does not respond. He looks over to his aunt Zainab and Kulthum. His eyes well up to say, "Inna lillah wa inna ilayhi raji'un." "Oh Sakina, forgive me. I was unable to stop them lashing you. I was unable to stop them hitting you. I was unable to stop you dying in this cold prison.
I could not do any more. I promise my hands were tied as I lay you in your grave. All alone tonight, my sister, I'm sorry, please forgive me. I could not do any more. I promise my hands were tied as I lay you in your grave. All alone tonight, my sister, I'm sorry, please forgive me. I raised you with so much love. I fed you with my hands. I could never see you cry. Your wish always was my command. I used to play with you as though we were best friends. Today I am burying you in this foreign land. You were always frightened of the dark when it was night. Forever you lay in a prison where there's no light. My sister, I'm sorry, please forgive me. I could not do any more. I promised my hands were tied as I lay you in your grave all alone tonight. My sister, I'm sorry, please forgive me. The palace where we stood, our necks and our hands in chains, the enemy asked, are you the daughter of Hussein? A tear rolled down your cheek. As they laughed at his pain, they pointed and told us to come forward by our names. An evil man asked for you to be a maid for him. My body began to shake, but I could not move a limb. My sister, I'm sorry, please forgive me. I could not do any more. I promised my hands were tied as I lay you in your grave all alone tonight. My sister, I'm sorry, please forgive me. Our father always prayed for a daughter like you is one in a million, like whom there are so few. He found so much peace and love and nurtured you as you grew. He's crying on that spear as you're beaten black and blue. I watch on in horror and saw him on that spear as stones are thrown at him, his face wet with blood and tears. My sister, I'm sorry, please forgive me. I could not do any more. I promised my hands were tied as I lay you in your grave all alone tonight. My sister, I'm sorry, please forgive me. The night of the orphans, when the tents were set ablaze, you entered the battlefield, where bodies lay like a maze. You found our father, on his chest your cheeks you placed. You found peace of moments before we were dragged away. We walked on a long road when nights turned into days, and tied to a camel, your body was in chains. My sister, I'm sorry, please forgive me. I could not do any more. I promised my hands were tied as I lay you in your grave all alone tonight. My sister, I'm sorry, please forgive me. I could not do any more. I promised my hands were tied as I lay you in your grave all alone tonight. My sister, I'm sorry, please forgive me.
Thank you all for attending this majlis today. So now it's time for the Martin. Can we have Muhammad Iqbal? Salawat.
गुर्बत में कत्ल हो गया मज़लूम बेवतन, मैं भाई भाई कहती थी लाशा बहन बहन, मैं भाई भाई कहती थी लाशा बहन बहन, मैं भाई भाई कहती थी लाशा बहन बहन, तीरों पे था रखा हुआ लाशा हुसैन का, डूबा हुआ लहू में ठकुरता हुसैन का, आवाज़ थी हुसैन की बहना कफन कफन, मैं भाई भाई कहती थी लाशा बहन बहन, मैं भाई भाई कहती थी लाशा बहन बहन, मैं भाई भाई कहती थी लाशा बहन बहन। एक दिन के दाग मैंने 72 उठा लिए, कुछ दाग मैंने कल्ब के अंदर छुपा लिए, छुपते नहीं छुपाने से दागे रसन रसन, मैं भाई भाई कहती थी लाशा बहन बहन, मैं भाई भाई कहती थी लाशा बहन बहन, मैं भाई भाई कहती थी लाशा बहन बहन। देखा है बाबा मैंने जो मंजर बताऊं क्या, नेज़ों पे था रखा हुआ सर हर शहीद का, घोड़ों के दौड़ने से था टुकड़े बदन बदन, मैं भाई भाई कहती थी लाशा बहन बहन, मैं भाई भाई कहती थी लाशा बहन बहन, मैं भाई भाई कहती थी लाशा बहन बहन। बरछी चले जाए अली अकबर में जब लगी, बाबा को दी सदा कभी आवाज़ मुझको दी, कहता था सीना थाम के अम्मा चुभन चुभन, मैं भाई भाई कहती थी लाशा बहन बहन, मैं भाई भाई कहती थी लाशा बहन बहन, मैं भाई भाई कहती थी लाशा बहन बहन। गाजी के बाद और कयामत गुज़र गई, प्यासों की आस टूट के बन में बिखर गई, एक शौर अल-अतश का बपा था दहन दहन, मैं भाई भाई कहती थी लाशा बहन बहन, मैं भाई भाई कहती थी लाशा बहन, मैं भाई भाई कहती थी लाशा बहन बहन। आई नाराज दो घड़ी परदेस की फिजा, कुनबा शहीद हो गया, मेरा घर उजड़ गया। परदेस देश गैर का अपना वतन वतन, मैं भाई भाई कहती थी लाशा बहन बहन, मैं भाई भाई कहती थी लाशा बहन बहन, मैं भाई भाई कहती थी लाशा बहन बहन। Y'all sing.
Y'all sing, 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 y'all sing.
Sham, oh Sham, Sham, oh Sham, Sham, oh Sham, Sham, oh Sham. Our fourth Mama, you have answered. Our fourth Mama, you have answered. The most difficult time was in Sham, Sham, oh Sham, Sham, oh Sham, Sham, oh Sham, Sham, oh Sham. Oh grandfather, what should we tell you of the hardships and cruelty we suffered? We were taken as displays in the streets, your family ill-treated and slandered. Your grandfather, if you could only, oh grandfather, if you could only witness how we were abused and shunned. Shunned, oh shunned, shunned, oh shunned, shunned, oh shunned, shunned, oh shunned. The women and children tormented by the image of the heads on the spears. Their faces and heads were uncovered, their innocent faces in tears. Oh grandmother, if you could only, oh grandmother, if you could only look how we were helpless and shunned, shunned, oh shunned, shunned, oh shunned, shunned, oh shunned, shunned, oh shunned. Our little Ruqayya had suffered. She longed to return to Medina. After Karbala, Kufa and then Sham, she yearned for her sister Fatima. Oh little Ruqayya, we miss you. Oh little Ruqayya, we miss you. You died as a captive in Sham. Oh Sham, Sham, oh Sham, Sham, oh Sham, Sham, oh Sham. Oh Uncle Abbas, our defender, we were left without any protection. Your courage and strength would have saved us from the tyrants who imposed affliction. But the enemies brutally killed you. But the enemies brutally killed you. We were prisoners here in Sham. Oh Sham, Sham, oh Sham, Sham, oh Sham, Sham, oh Sham. Oh my courageous Auntie Zainab, the religion of Islam was woken. Your sermons brought tears to the people because of the words that were spoken. Oh Rasulullah, if you could only, oh Rasulullah, if you could only listen to the way she spoke in Sham. Oh Sham, Sham, oh
our beloved fourth Imam Sajjad. We pray you take this as a token from the love in our hearts for you, Imam. These legends and words have been written. Oh, Bibi Zainab and Ruqayya. Oh, Bibi Zainab and Ruqayya. Invite us to meet you in Sham. Sham, oh Sham, Sham, oh Sham.
السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله وعلى الأرواح التي حلت في فنائك. عليكم مني سلام الله عبدا ما بقيت وبقي الليل والنهار، ولا جعل الله آخر العهد مني لزيارتكم. السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين، خصوصا سيدي ومولاي أبو الفضل العباس ابن أمير المؤمنين، وقاسم بن حسن ومسلم بن أخيل وهاني بن هروة وحبيب بن مظاهر وهر الشهيد الرياعي. السلام عليكم جميعا ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليكم أئمة المسلمين علي بن الحسين ومحمد بن علي وجعفر بن محمد وموسى بن جعفر وعلي بن موسى ومحمد بن علي وعلي بن محمد والحسن بن علي والحجة بن القائم الحسن المهدي. يا مولا يا صاحب العصر والزمان، السلام عليك يا خليفة الرحمن. السلام عليك يا شريك القرآن. السلام عليك يا مظهر الإيمان. السلام عليك يا إمامنا وإمام الجار. أسألك يا سيدي الأمان 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 من فتنة الزمان وشر الشيطان. أجل الله تعالى فرجك وسهل الله مخرجك وظهورك، واجعلنا من أنصارك واجعلنا من أعوانك واجعلنا من مستقصدين بين يديك، ورحمة الله وبركاته.
اللهم صل على
ما كل وليك حجة من حسن، صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الصوت وفي كل ساعة، وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا، حتى تسكنه الزكاة وتمتعه فيها طويلا
برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين.
It's an honor to be amongst everyone here. Thank you very much for your time. I know it's the end of the program, so I won't take much of your time. I was asked by Sister Shabnam, apparently already before even this presentation, there has been collection for funds for Alliance Social Care Foundation, a charity for orphans. So I'm here to just briefly talk about Alliance and about the charity, but we've got some leaflets that I can leave at the end if anyone's interested. There are packs you can take to get more information. So Al-Ain was set up in 2006 in Iraq, and it was under the instruction of Ayatollah Sistani. It was initially set up for recording the cases of the crimes against the followers of Ahlul Bayt, and then afterwards they realized that there is so much need to help these orphans. So the parents, the father would be killed, and then these children are orphaned. So then Al-Ain started caring for the orphans in different ways, such as monthly allowances, sponsorships, and toys, like you have kindly collected, because as you know, children need to play as well it's not just enough for them to survive and to eat and to be clothed. There are also other projects such as Sadaqa Jariyah projects that you have also kindly collected funds for, such as Hikayati. Hikayati is a center for orphans for them to develop their self-esteem, different skills, as well as enjoy themselves. In a swimming pool, they have cinema. So this is being built right now in Najaf. And the reason why it's in Najaf, it's to connect the happiness that the orphans can get to the visit of Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salam. So I'd like to thank you very much for collecting funds and to bring happiness to the orphans. Today that you're remembering the orphan of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, you're also making this act of kindness. You're not just talking, you're actually doing the actual, you're just not talking the talk, you're walking the walk. So well done, everyone, and thank you very much for both your funds and your toys, which are going to bring happiness to the orphans, inshallah. Thank you. And for that, I'd like to give a certificate from Alliance Social Care Foundation to this blessed madrasa. So I will, if I can have a representative from madrasa take the certificate.
We have 2 checks to be sent to Al-Ain. The first one goes to the Daily Society Centre, and the second one is to a Nigerian orphan, and we have some choices.
MashaAllah, thank you very much. So you have kindly, in addition to the funds for Hikayati and the toys, you have kindly also sponsored an orphan on behalf of the school. Thank you very much, and well done everyone. Ahsantum. Thank you.